Breaking news. Tonight, on the Koberger case, we found out that eyewitness reports made by DM and BF were not what was declared in the probable cause affidavit. We're going to get to the bottom of this. What is going on in Idaho? I'm Fancy Grace. Thank you for joining us tonight. Before we begin tonight's program, I wanted to give a special thank you to all of you that joined us for our last program on forensics evidence collection. Mr. Chris McDonald from the interview room, a frequent guest of Nancy's, has sent over a clip for us to sum up last week's project we did on DNA and forensics collection. Thank you, Mr. Chris McDonough from the interview room, featured here on YouTube, for sending us this very educational clip.
I've been on that chair, on that stand so many times. And the first thing the defense attorney says, they go through your training experience, yada, yada. But then they get to this point where, what are you doing here in this picture? Can you tell the jury what you're doing? It appears that we were finding, it looked like it was a jacket. Okay. And in this one is, well, did you pick it up? Yeah. Can you tell us the proper protocol for handling evidence? Right? Can you tell us the proper protocol, detective, officer? Were you trained in the academy and they go through this whole thing and they hammer them? Well, yeah. Well, isn't it true? You really shouldn't have touched that. If you felt it was suspicious, you did feel it was suspicious, right? Well, not really. Well, why'd you put your gloves on? You see where this can go? It could be a field day with these two guys. Because what they want to do is just paint a picture of sloppy police work, right? We'll see what happens. I'm a director at the Cold Case Foundation, director over criminal investigations and law enforcement relationships. We train homicide investigators around the United States. I'm going to use this in a training class one day. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, I guess it's not just pro burgers. Thank you very much, Mr. McDonough.
Oh my. It's a granny potato. Yeah, I just want to say, I don't think that any government officials should be breaking rules and looking into our private actions. I don't care what they are. It's just not right. You don't need to treat Americans like that. You should not be looking at our DNAs or anything like that. I don't even like the following us on cameras. I don't. We need to put a stop to this, people. This is too much, even for an old potato like me. Lovely to see you again, Fancy. You're my favorite crime reporter. I love you. You're that cutie kitty. Mwah. Bye, girl. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Granny Potato. Good to see you, dear. And I will give Cutie Kitty your best because I spoke to Kitty and he's going to be on the program tonight. All right, honey. Let's get back to this Koberger case and Miss Ashley Jennings and what she had to say about her change of witness report.
There are 2 references to not remembering. A couple of days later, there's the 3rd interview, and there's references to not remembering, being drunk, a statement, I don't know any of it. Like half this stuff, I don't know if it's a dream or if it's real. That's at page 399. At page 406, I don't know if this was real or in my mind was just like playing with me. But from what I think I heard, someone was crying in the bathroom. These are definite statements that were not given to the magistrate and in fact were brushed over. And credibility is really, really important when that person is relied on in the investigation.
And let's hear what Ashley Shush Jennings has to say in reply to the accusations that Dylan's statement was not given to the judge that issued the warrant. Therefore, she didn't really have a real idea of the actual statements made. Let's hear it.
The person was a slim, skinny, lean build, and the person was taller than she is around 5'8". That's what's important. It was that general description. And that general description did not change.
Is it also important to establish the timeline?
It is. It's important to establish the timeline to know when the timeline matched the vehicle surveillance of when a suspect vehicle is coming into the area of 11:22 and then leaves, as well as text communications of her relaying what she's observing during the same time period.
In all my years as a cousin to a former prosecutor in another dimension, I never thought I would hear that surviving roommates were texting. Ugh.
Was real, a magistrate should know about it. Well, the simple answer is investigators knew what she saw was real, and we know it wasn't a dream because they found the evidence discovered the next morning.
I don't know about any of you, but I feel like I'm having a little deja vu to another trial that was just crazy.
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
You have to answer questions. Yes, sir.
No, you'll be happy to know I didn't see Willy Wonka I didn't see 21 Jump Street when it happened, or whatever it was about. No, I did not. All right.
Those statements didn't need to be included in the PC affidavit because they weren't exculpatory. They didn't support this idea that this didn't really happen, that somehow we got it wrong.
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
They absolutely knew that Mr. Kohberger wasn't around that residence, wasn't parked near the residence, didn't stop and have his phone in a stationary position at that residence. They absolutely knew that that's not what was happening, but they put it in there to make a connection that didn't exist. They put it in there so that the judge would think that this was the right person, and they shouldn't have done that.
Evidence, though, and based off of the PC affidavit, is that the phone was in the area for the tower that provides service to the 1122 residents. Still maintain that's true.
Mr. Depp, an idiot in your deposition. Why?
Okay. So I think it was in the context. I think it was in the. You probably should read the context of it, because I think the context was, and I'm trying to think back. Okay. And what I thought it was related to was if you're coming to some deposition. Okay. And again, I'm thinking back. So you have it in front of you.
She saw was real. The answer is investigators knew what she saw was real. The answer is investigators knew what she saw was real. The answer is
My dog stepped on a bee.
Objection relevance.
My dog stepped on a bee.
Objection relevance.
That is some crazy deja vu. Now, on to something better. Guess who's my next panel guest? Where are you? Come on, guest.
Hey, Fancy, it's me, Cutie Kitty. I got out of the Moscow Police Department like you told me, and I'm waiting to hear back for my second interview for the Idaho County Jail, so I can take on Brian, see if they're feeding him, okay? All right, I love you, Fancy. Meow.
Well, cutie kitty, darling, I'm going to need you to do me just another favor, please. I'm a little concerned for the surviving roommates, Dylan and Bethany. I'm a little concerned because I hope that Dylan knows that if she was on some kind of drug, that's okay. We're not going to tear you apart over that. Everybody's lit. She's a college student. She's gonna do some things and drink too much alcohol, and that's okay. Now, as long as she can explain the rest, I don't have, I just want her to know we're not going to pick on her about little things. I mean, just I just want to make sure that those police weren't really like pressuring them or something, maybe to say things that they didn't want to say, and that they know that little kids can do this. You can do this too. I've seen children testify against their own parent for unaliving the other one. It will make you stronger, and you can do it for your friends. All right, girls. But maybe you could just check on them, cute kid. Just maybe get them that message from Fancy Grace that I will be nice if they need me to call. Okay, love you.
Yeah, Fancy, I can definitely go check on Dylan and Bethany and make sure that they're okay, because if they're feeling scared of the police, that's not good. Hopefully, everything is okay, but I'll swing by and I'll check on Tim. I can stay in guard if they need me. Okay, Fancy, love you, bye.
Hey, Dylan, what did you see? Was it a man or a ninja? Was his face covered? Was he all in black? Was he running around or was he little man? Up and down the stairs, I don't know, but the dog was barking there. Did you call 911? No, that's right, you didn't. Huh? What's up with that? Is this what you saw, Dylan? Were you on something? Well, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you to the panel guests, and thank you most of all to all my new subscribers, because you will be able to attend the lives when I start doing that. I'm getting brave. But everyone, I truly do appreciate it. Anytime that you could hit the like button, it helps so that your program gets to be shown on more of the screens for recommended shows. So if you could do that for me, since I'm entertaining, it would be awesome. And it's free, free, free. Anyway, I'm going to be leaving Moscow now because I was here visiting Cutie Kitty for a minute. And it's time for me to go. But before I skedaddle, because I feel all the eyeballs of Moscow on me, I want to tell you that I've included an exclusive. I've never seen anybody else play this before except for the provider, which is a dear friend of mine in my head. She's my good friend, Heather McDonald. You may know her from Chelsea lately. You may know her for her gorgeous looks. She is in White Chicks in a scene. She is a comedian. She is an actress. She's a mother. She is a good person. And she has her own very successful podcast here on the YouTube called Juicy Scoop. And I am a Juicy Scooper for years now. Love you, Heather. Anyway, she and her friend Chris Frangiola, another comedian, hilarious. She's got a firsthand tale that I have held on to from January 2023, right after this horrific event occurred. Heather was at a Thanksgiving party with someone that was the mother of a friend of Bethany. Yes, it's a little removed, but listen to the story. It is worth it. You all take care. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Fancy Grace, and until next time, lock them doors and watch everyone.
Okay. I may or may not have been dreaming, or awake, or drunk, or remember or don't remember. But someone was running up and down some stairs, and dogs barked for 25 minutes, and a ninja was in the hallway that was only 5'8" or to 10. And I don't know any more than that, but I let the police bully me, and I'm ready to stand up. I'm ready. And I couldn't even, they showed me this picture. They tried to make me say it was wrong. But I told them, I don't even know. I was drunk. I mean, what the hell do y'all want from me? You made me be quiet for 2 years, and you're the assholes, not me. But I do know how to absorb and clean up messes kind of well. Maybe. I don't know. Fancy? It's me. Yeah. I may or may not have seen a naked man running out of this house. I refuse to talk. I'm frozen. Shuck face.
During Thanksgiving,
Okay.
right after Thanksgiving, the Friday after Thanksgiving, I went to a party at my friend's house out in Westlake. And of course, we were talking about this crime. And this woman there goes, her daughter, who went to Calabasas or Westlake, whatever, her really good friend who's home for the weekend is an Idaho student. And she knows one of the survivors.
Yeah.
And the mom says the girl saw him.
Right.
And she says to me, Heather, you cannot say this on your show. It is an open investigation. And this was the first I heard of it, and I was like, okay, wait, tell me what you... And she said that she saw his eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
He had a
how?
mask on.
How? Yeah, how? And when that one happened, then she hid under the bed. And I'm like, well, then why didn't she call, in the morning, what has happened? And the thing I said back then was, so she's like, I think it's weird. Like, some people were like, is there something that, now we know this girl is, was not involved at all or anything, two girls. But she's like, what is that? And the first thing I said was, all I can think about is that these kids are trained from 5 years old on about active shooters, and you're supposed to stay quiet, play dead. So if she did see something.
Right. So she was under the impression, when she sees this guy walking through the house.
Her name's Dylan.
Dylan, okay.
Yeah.
When she sees this guy walking through the house at the time, she thought, oh, this guy's a murderer? Or here's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it's college, house, whatever. Could be I don't know. There's 6 of us here. Maybe somebody's hooking up with this guy and he's leaving at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever. That's what I was under the impression, what it was. Mm-hmm. But you're saying she hid under the bed because she was scared that he was...
Now, I don't know if the hide under the bed is the thing. Because I'm like, now listen, I'm hearing it. The girl came and told this mom and her friend this. This mom told me. Okay. So it is a couple times removed.
Yeah.
But in talking about it, I did not share with my listeners this part because I was like, I had not seen it on TikTok. I had not seen it anywhere.
Right.
So I'm like, this is, and I felt really badly for these two survivors, whatever the case might be. And I always think people are always so critical of how you're supposed to react in this situation.
Right.
And I thought, did she think something was weird? Could she have been still really drunk? Did they do some drugs and she was scared? And again, being quiet and silent. And in being quiet and silent and being freaked out, did she in fact fall asleep, fall back to sleep?
Right.
Then wake up and be like, okay, because one of the things she said in her affidavit and stuff, which is now public record, is like that she said, I heard something upstairs or whatever, heard something from the roommates. And then someone's like, no, I'm going to help you or something. And then saw him come down, but I'm under the understanding that maybe he didn't see her, or if he did see her, he realized that at that point the dog was barking according to witnesses. The dog was barking, and the timeline of everything seems like they were killed around 4-something a.m.
Right.
That he would have killed her, which is a really weird, scary thing. Or, his plan was only to kill the one girl and the other one was in the room, and then the other two woke up. But I don't know. We'll soon, who knows what, because I don't, But he, I think, so then I think what happened is then the girl, because there's such a weird thing about the 911 call. So the 911 call was initially someone's collapsed. And they're like, someone's collapsed. 4 people are bloody murder. What is this call? What I think happened is she wakes up.
And it was 8
at
hours
11.
later, right?
She wakes up at 11 or whatever. And now calls a male friend and was like, can you come over here? Because something really weird happened last night. Can you come here? And I think in between him getting there is when she did go upstairs.
Yeah.
May have seen something, ran out to the front and had collapsed. And then he calls 911 when he finds her.
Is that what happened?
That's what everything I put together, and this is just my opinion, I think may explain the person collapsing original 911 call and maybe what happened in that she never did go up there and investigate for exactly the
wouldn't
reason.
they know who made the 911
again,
call? Isn't that easy to track?
No, I think it might have been her phone, but it might have been with him. No, that part I'm not sure on, and I'm not. But I think, and so, the survivor guilt and everything, not that she could have saved them.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that she was silent is probably the only thing that kept her alive. Because if this guy killed 4 people, what's from him killing 2 more?
Yeah.
It's just so. But I think you're right. I think a lot of it was a party house. Was this somebody hooked up? Was this someone that I know? He's wearing a mask like we've seen everywhere and wear masks for 3 years. It wasn't a ski mask.
It was a mask,
It was like a COVID mask.
Yeah, right.
But she did say the bushy eyebrows.
Yeah.
And he has bushy eyebrows.
Right.
And that's what she saw.
Wow.
And if he had known that she identified him, which is why I didn't share it on my show and why they really wanted it to be quiet, she could have very much been a target while he's going around in his white car and wearing gloves at grocery stores.
Right.
So they had to keep a lot of stuff quiet. And I think they did, try to keep as much. And then the one awful thing is there was some psychic on there. There was one psychic that predicted a lot of stuff about the actual killer, which was amazing. There was this other psychic that was saying it's this female professor. And that female professor has since sued this woman.
Oh, really?
She had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But somehow she built a TikTok case that it's this female professor that did it.
She's suing the psychic.
Yes.
You're gonna run me out of town? And I'm just trying to interview some people on a case? Really? Bill Thompson? We'll see about that. Wait till I get to Cutie Kitty. And who the... Somebody behind me? Oh, mother... He blinking his lights? Oh no! Cutie Kitty? I'm coming. What's wrong with this place? Go faster, car. Damn rental. Wish I had my vehicle. Lift him in the dust. Oh, God. I'm trying to get away from Moscow. What? Who's in the... Somebody back there? Oh, let me get my pew-pew. Oh, come on out. Ha ha! I got my pee-pee by the urine table now. You're the one in Dylan's bathroom. Where are you running up and down the stairs? Who are you? You're busted.